Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Alexis with Mastermind Adventures. I'm going to be introducing y'all to some incredible people today. We're starting our introduction to our Game Masters for Hire. We're going to be working with some new people. We're actually transitioning to a more online platform. I know you know us as the face-to-face games people, but in the current situation, we're going to be moving to this online format. And that means you get to play games with us, attend our educational programs, even have birthday parties, and solve mysteries from the comfort of your own home. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Greg today. He is one of our game masters. So, Greg, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself? Give us your origin story.
Oh, geez, my origin story.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, hi guys. Hello, internet. My name is Gregory Crafts, and oh, you even threw my middle name in there. I only hear that when my mother is mad at me. So no, it's okay. I was like, oh wow. Let's see. Origin story. Well, I was born a month late in a on a lovely Memorial Day weekend in on Long Island, New York, and was an East Coast baby. Grew up in New York, Virginia, and then I went to college at Emerson in Boston. Huge militant Red Sox fan. Although it was weird, I remember seeing 1986. I remember seeing it get through Buckner from the Mets' perspective, being on Long Island, and it was a completely different experience. And now that I go back and watch that footage, it's all kinds of trauma. So there's that. I have been living in Los Angeles for the last 17 years, working as a professional actor. And when I say that I'm working as a professional actor, it means that I have a million other side hustles that pay the bills while I pay my union dues and try to book television and film. And it's been an incredibly rewarding and interesting life that has led me in a lot of different fascinating directions. I should say that, um, let me see. Yeah, having been working in entertainment for 17 years, I took the opportunity between auditions to really try to work on expanding my artistic portfolio and not just be an actor and a lighting designer. Lighting is the other thing I got my degree in when I was at Emerson. I have became I started writing. I became a playwright actually, and I'm a published playwright now. I have 3 plays professionally published. I have written over 30 plays. Most of them are 10 minutes or less, but I do have about half a dozen full length projects and about another 4 or 5 more currently in development. Currently writing a musical right now about the monsters in the dungeon and what happens when they get kicked out and have to live on the surface. And it's quite the fun little experiment. I've based it on the allegory of the cave, and it's a fascinating experiment. Oh crap! I was supposed to turn in pages to my writing partner today.
Isn't it funny how
I
that comes up?
it's just one of those things where we've had weekly check-ins, and I just lost track of what day of the week it is, which just happens sometimes when everything kind of feels the same in quarantine. So yeah, that's a fun random thought. Also, working in LA, they talk about how LA is a film and TV town. Well, I'm a big part of uh, the Los Angeles theater scene, which is actually a pretty big deal. There's a lot of work that starts here, a lot of writers that generate a lot of original material, and then those shows, premiere in Los Angeles and kind of get like a little bit of traction in Los Angeles, and then go elsewhere to become famous. To kind of blow up and then get a Broadway run. Rock of Ages actually started in LA on the Sunset Strip. So
Oh,
that's
wow.
yeah. So and lots of other shows like this too. But hopefully including my plays. Fun fact: I have a tattoo on me for every play of mine that's ever opened in New York. So far I have 2 tattoos, and I'm looking for plenty more.
Oh my
Uh,
goodness, that's so
oh yeah.
cool.
So, yeah, and not only in addition to being a playwright, I produce theater. I actually am the managing director of a small theater company out here in LA, a nonprofit theater. And my wife and I, in 2017, actually bought our own venue. That is our primary job, is that we run a small theater for rent, and we have a couple of partner venues that we book as well. But we have that is our business. Is that we actually own and operate a small theater here in Los Angeles called Studio Stage, and it's been closed since mid-March. So, looking around for alternative forms of income, I stumbled upon an ad for Mastermind Adventures and got to talk to Kristen and the rest of the family here, and it really does feel like a family. I've never felt more welcome in a working place that I didn't build myself. And I just think that everybody here is so awesome and so positive and so energetic and so passionate about what they do. And oh, I talked about all this other stuff. I never went over my geek cred. Uh,
Go for it.
yeah, so I've been rolling dice since I was about 8 years old. I stumbled when I was visiting my cousins in New York one time. I stumbled into my older cousin uh, playing a round of Marvel superheroes with his buddies, and like the old school percentile die uh, uh, system, and I sat in on that. And I thought it was so cool that I just had to check it out for myself, and I wound up getting hooked. And then from there, I did Star Wars D6, and then from there, I had my angsty gothic phase where you had your pours me, oh the darkness must embrace my soul, all that crap, and played the World of Darkness systems, which was great because it freaked out a lot of people at the Catholic high school that I went to. So that's always the
Always
objective.
fun. Yeah.
Yep. Always got to screw with the normies. And then it actually wasn't until college that I really got into the granddaddy of them all, Dungeons and Dragons. I got in. I played AD&D a couple of times and was just like, "What is this THACO crap? I don't get this." And decided that it was too complicated. I tried Palladium for 5 seconds and went, "Wow, that's really complicated. Forget that." And then I wound up, just getting into D&D right as third edition hit, which really revolutionized and kind of rejuvenated the gaming industry at that time, back in like 2000. And I got hooked on that. Was DMing, was playing in campaigns and DMing campaigns for my buddies in the dorms, and then from there just kind of went wild with it. I got really, I skipped fourth edition a little bit because that was around a lot of those books were coming out during the economic crash and I didn't have money. But I really jumped back into it with fifth and have been playing fifth quite happily on Roll20 for a couple of years now. My weekly campaign group, the Brute Squad, which I was one of the core founding players in. We went through and did Tomb of Annihilation and just wrapped that up over the course of about a year and a half of weekly Thursday morning games because we were all theater people. So mornings is when we were all free to play. We couldn't play in the evenings or the weekends because that's when we worked. So we had a Thursday morning game over coffee, and that was a lot of fun. And now I'm actually running a weekly Monday night game which is theater's traditional Dark Night, for the Brute Squad on Twitch with Mastermind. Where I'm running them through the Shackled City right now, which is the Shackled City Adventure Path, which was published by Paizo back when they were running Dungeon Magazine. And I remember buying all the issues of Dungeon that had the Shackled City Adventure Path in it. So I remember when the magazines came out, like 20 years ago, and I was like, "Oh my god, this thing's incredible!" And I never got to run it, and I've been dying to run it, and now I'm finally getting to run it, and I'm just so glad that I pulled on all this material, and it's been a blast. It's been a really, really great time. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Well, you did epic. That's such a cool background story. I love how long it's been a love of your life and how you've kind of kept it as something close to your heart through all these years, no matter where you've been living and all the other arts that you dabble in. That's really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, I should also mention I was a LARPer for a good long time too. I had a good 8-year stretch of playing different LARPing systems on the East Coast, and I was actually in an improv troupe. When I first got to LA, I joined an improv troupe called Dungeon Master, the Ultimate Improv Adventure, and that was a hell of a lot of fun because the cast would play all the NPCs, and we would pull the heroes out of the audience every week.
Oh, wow.
And we'd run them through a different scenario, and that was pretty epic. And that was fun because you never knew who was going to show up. Sometimes I went up on stage with actors from TV, and sometimes it was just like a bunch of kids. It was always just like, all right, let's see what happens. Let's throw it on stage and see what works. And it was that was like my core family group when I first got to LA was falling in with those guys because I saw a post at a local game store and I was like, I have to check this out. So yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. And just having your people around you can help really foster that creativity. I really love seeing people who haven't gamed before kind of get pulled in and see how excited they get. So hopefully we'll get some new people that kind of get to enter that world for the first time.
Yeah. Well, that's actually really cool. Is that I have my first booking coming up next Saturday because
Ooh.
I've had my Monday night game, but now I've got my first actual booking for hire, and it is a girls' night, an online girls' night, and they've never played tabletop RPGs before, but they're all old school theater people, and they're like, yeah. We just want to see what this whole D&D thing is about, and they booked me for my Bard Brigade Solves Mysteries scenario, which is basically I run people through old episodes of like through the plots of old episodes of Scooby Doo and Josie and the Pussycats. That's the
Oh,
secret.
that's so awesome.
Yeah. So so yeah, I've been watching a lot of cartoons as prep for this, but it's gonna be awesome because it's a bunch of theater people and they've never role played before, and I get to be their introduction to it. So I'm kind of like really excited about this.
Yeah, it's an honor, right? And they're going to fit right
Yeah.
in, just that creativity and that storytelling that you're so passionate about. It really is,
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's like a main form of communication that we all naturally fall into. We just have to remember how to be kids again and how to have fun and allow ourselves to play.
Yes. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, you gave us a lot of good info there. I'm just going to get more into, I know you touched on some things, but what you're going to be offering at Mastermind Adventures specifically, like what systems you're running and just,
Oh sure.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, let's see. Obviously, D&D. I'm a big 5th edition fan. My offer right now actually is I'm currently offering to run the original I6 Ravenloft as a Halloween special on Roll20. I think I'm selling it by the seat, $29 a seat, up to 8 people at the table. And I'm only offering it through this weekend because it's a Halloween special. So, I mean, you can run Ravenloft whenever you want. I kind of like this idea of this. And by the way, this is not Curse of Strahd. This is the original OG AD&D I6 updated to 5th edition. So it's kind of like a little bit of the same, but Curse of Strahd is a full campaign. Ravenloft is a castle raid with one very specific objective, and I am going to run you through it in one night. So
Wow.
the scenario is called Strahd Must Die Tonight, and either he goes or you go.
Poor
And
Strahd. Bye, Strahd.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So, you break into Castle Ravenloft, you find the Sun Sword, you find the holy symbol of Ravenkind, and then you go fight a vampire. It's pretty straightforward, but with the Taroka cards and everything else, it is always a very every scenario is unique because you never know where everybody's going to be and how to get there. So that is something I'm really excited and passionate about. We did a live stream of it on Twitch about a week and a half ago with some of my best friends, and it was awesome. It was awesome. 6.5 hours. I was exhausted afterwards, but it was so much fun. I really recommend checking out the Twitch stream. I also have it archived on my YouTube channel, so I can throw some links out to you in a little bit if you'd like. And
Yeah, we can put those in this description in the video as well too, so everyone can
perfect.
connect with you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So I have that, and then let's see. I have a scenario. Obviously, I have Bard Brigade Solves Mysteries, and that one is one that I'm still writing it right now, but it will be ready for my first game session on the 7th. So I'm very very excited about that. And I think that that's just a lot of while Ravenloft is an epic 6 hour like RP heavy grimdark slog through a castle, like really for folks who know what they're doing, because you're playing sixth level pre-gens, and you kind of need to have that like an intermediate to advanced skill level of playing D&D. Bard
Mhm.
Brigade is perfect for introductory stuff. It's 2 hours. It's really dice light, RP heavy. Just have a great time. Learn, like get. It's a perfect introduction to kind of dip your toes into things and play a character. The other
Yeah, a little
scenario.
something for everyone. Oops, sorry.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. And the other scenario that I'm doing as a introduction for first time role players, never seen a die before, never talked in funny voices before. is called Jailbreak, where you wake up in jail and your objective is that you've got 1 hour to get out. So it's sort of a D&D version of an escape room. So it is like, you'll kind of have like the encounters of all the standard tropes of a D&D adventure, like, you got to solve a puzzle at one point. You got to solve, you deal with all these things, and it's like you get it's like a little bit of a smorgasbord sample of what D&D is usually like, and it's perfect for folks who just need like a 1 hour introduction. Like, what does this mean? How does this work? So yeah.
That's awesome. I like the different avenues and how you can break it up into somebody who maybe hasn't played before or somebody who needs a little bit more of a challenge and wants to go into a deeper, like creative, just get into like a longer gaming system. So that's really epic.
Absolutely. And I'm also available for campaigns. I have several campaign systems, like all the major the D&D campaigns that, if you need somebody to run Tomb of Annihilation, Curse of Strahd, Descent into Avernus, I'm your Huckleberry. I'm good for all that stuff. I have a huge library of adventures and things that I'm always willing to run. I've got 12 episodes of Dungeon in a Box that I've never cracked open that I'm like, I really, really, really want to play these. So if anybody wants to jump in on that, I'm here. I'm here for it. I also, in terms of other game systems, I'm very familiar with World of Darkness. So I don't have the 5th edition rules, but yeah, that would not be hard for me to pick up. And I'm always good for some modern Gothic horror. I love me some Star Wars D6. If you want to play a Star Wars space opera game, I'm in. I'm totally down. I will
Yes.
just, where you're just going to get some, vintage 80s and 90s D6 rules, and it'll be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I would also love to run Marvel superheroes. I want to run a game for a group that wants to play, Marvel characters. I will run it where, it's you were in 2020 1 minute ago, and now it's 1987, and the Mutant Registration Act just passed, and Sentinels are everywhere, and it's almost like the plot of Terminator, where you have to go back in time, and like I've got a whole scenario planned out for that. So I'm totally down to run that with folks. So if anybody is interested in any of those systems, I'm also down to learn new systems. If you've got something that you want to play with a RP heavy DM, someone who loves to talk through, and have like good dramatic arcs and have like a lot of character driven stuff, and tell a great story, I'm your Huckleberry. I want to do that stuff. So if you've got Lasers and Feelings, if you've got Honey Heist, if you've got any of these other games that you'd like to check out, I will learn it and I will be happy to play with you. Yeah.
That is so awesome. Oh my goodness, that's such a wide variety. It's really cool. I'm learning just talking to you. I'm like, oh, I want to go play that. I want to be in the dungeon. I want to escape the prison. That's so cool. Do you have a Twitch live stream?
I do. You can find me at twitch.tv/Gregory Crafts. And but also on the Mastermind Adventures channel on Monday night at 7 o'clock, I have Brutes in the Shackled City. That's the Brute Squad playing the Shackled City Adventure Path. So Monday nights, 7 to 10 Pacific Standard. So that's a little later for folks on the East Coast. I do repost the episodes to my YouTube channel on Wednesdays. My YouTube channel is youtube.com/c/Gregory Crafts. Easy to find me. I'm pretty much Gregory Crafts on every major platform.
Beautiful.
So yeah, so find
And
me
we'll
on
link
there.
everything so that we can have people find you with a little more ease, and we'll get all of that out there. That's really cool.
Perfect.
That's such a wide variety of skill sets. I think that's so awesome. It's just artists busting out.
Well, I mean, I've always thought of myself as a raconteur, and it's just one of those things that it's like I love what I do, and whether I'm playing, whether I'm on television or in a short film or on stage or just sitting around a table with dice, like I like telling stories,
Yeah.
and that's it means so much to be able to do that. And I think that especially in times like these, we need stories, we need connection. And if there's a simple way to do that using the internet and something like this to establish a connection, some camaraderie, I'm here for it. So yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's so cool. Okay, so I guess that's a good little segue into like some final questions for you. You
Okay.
explained what you've done and what and your kind of your life's path. And I'm just wondering, like, what other personal missions or just your overall values and goals that you are looking to get out of gaming and teaching and kind of combining this world in general?
I kind of want to really help. Critical Role has done an awful lot for the gaming community and kind of bringing it mainstream. I think that the gaming is experiencing a renaissance right now, unlike anything it's ever seen before. I mean, we've come a long way from the satanic panic in the '80s and the '90s, which I remember because I remember that my Catholic school that I went to freaked out when they saw that I had a Magic the Gathering deck in my bag. Oh no! Oh gosh!
What?
Uh, oh yeah! No, I nearly got suspended over it. I was like, this is BS. And I think I've had my parents be like, do you believe in Jesus Christ? It's like, guys, just because I dress up in furs and go beat people with PVC, swords on the weekends does not mean I'm now a devil worshiper. It's like there's a certain amount of stigma that that you had to deal with as a gamer when I was growing up back in my day. Um, but I would really love to help normalize this form of storytelling as a form of community and as a form of celebration of you know community. And celebration of storytelling and a celebration of creativity. I really want to make sure that I can help break down these stereotypes that like the idea that oh you play D&D so you must be a dork that never has sex. It's like, no, that's not true. I know, first off, I know many lovely, wonderful couples who game together. My wife is not a gamer, unfortunately. We tried, she wasn't interested, but that's okay. But just
Everyone has their thing.
everybody's got their things. I mean, she's a militant Disney file, and I'm like, you do you, boo. I love you so much, so that's not my thing, but I will support you, and I will have an annual pass so we can go down and go to Disneyland whenever it reopens, and you have your forms of magic, I have mine.
Definitely. Yes. And I
Yeah.
think
So
that's so what you said is so important. Just like everyone has multifaceted parts of themselves, and gaming is such an area of being able to express all of those and be accepted. And I think people who've never dipped their toes in don't really know, maybe haven't, had the freedom to explore those different facets of who they are. So it really is like there is no label for like what does a gamer look like? Like you'd be
yeah,
surprised how many people I've met in life just with my own nerdy tendencies and the things I like and the books and the stories, and just it does bring people together, people you never thought had those interests, because people are dynamic, you know?
absolutely. Most of the writers and all the best TV shows right now have a weekly game with each other.
That's awesome.
Like, so TV, you like if you get on TV Twitter, because TV writer Twitter is a thing. And if you actually get in there and talk to folks, yeah, they're all gamers. They're all gamers. A lot of celebrities are now being much more open about the fact that they're gamers. I was on Let's Make a Deal last week. As being in here in LA, I shot an episode of it. It'll be airing probably in early December.
Oh,
Uh,
cool.
and,
Congrats. You're going to
and
have to link that
thank
to
you.
us.
Absolutely. But one of the things that I mentioned was that I was working as a DM for hire during the pandemic, and they all loved that. And Wayne cracked a couple of jokes, but then he and Jonathan, his announcer, both started talking to me about the campaigns they played in. So I mean, they're gamers,
Yeah,
and they got a
totally.
huge kick out of that. Jonathan said he just finished Descent into Avernus, and Wayne was talking about his character. So it's like these guys are all gamers, and it's a lot more prolific than people think. So yeah, anything I could do to help break down a harmful stereotype and make what I think is a wonderful expression of community and a way to explore yourself something more widely accepted. Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
in.
Yeah.
I'm here for that. If because I think that there's a lot of harmful BS out there. There's still some harmful negative attitudes out there that need to be addressed.
Yeah,
So
I agree. I agree entirely. Yeah, that's so cool. I love that. I love those values. I love everything we've heard about you. Do you want to give us any additional closing thoughts? Just anything you wanted to add, a story, anything that's on your heart?
I think I've covered an awful lot of ground right now. I think I've kind of left it all out on the table, but I just love what I do, and I love this, and I love games, and I am just. I think that as people, we need storytelling, especially in times like this. We need storytelling to stay entertained, to stay present, to learn, to share information, And I think that gaming is a wonderful way to engage in a collaborative method of that. And it, especially in times like now when we're all separated and we have to do so much stuff over cameras, like I have to have Zoom calls with my friends right now because because I live in a hotspot. So, oh well. Uh, Having gaming and having this form of connection is so important right now because this is how I'm connecting with people. This is how I'm connecting with my friends. My friends are all like, "Thank God you're running this weekly Monday night game," because otherwise I just haven't had it in me to see people, to talk to people. And now I have something where I'm connecting to 9 other people every week. Like, thank you, thank you. So if there's things I can do to help other people have that, to have that connection, especially in a time like this, I'm here to do it. I want to. So yeah.
I love it. Thank you so much, Greg. And one last time, where can everybody connect with you? Where can they find you? What are your links? All that good stuff.
Well, my official website is gregorycrafts.com. So the gregorycrafts.com. You can also find me on every major platform at Gregory Crafts. I've got a Facebook page, Twitter, uh, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitch, Pinterest. I'm on Pinterest. I still can't figure Pinterest out. I'm trying. My social media people say that I need to understand Pinterest, and I just don't. But yeah, I'm trying. I don't know. I'm old. I
I think
feel
it's probably on the lower end of like the high necessities then, unless you're like redecorating your home.
yeah. Well, apparently there's like gaming Pinterest is actually pretty big apparently, and from what I can
Wow.
tell, I can see that. Like if you want to find maps or art or any of these other resources, and being like a link aggregator. I mean, I remember Dig back in the day, but if like in terms of a link aggregator, Pinterest is apparently second to none. So I'm like, all right, I got to figure this out, but. I think what I've realized is that I have to generate a lot more content in order to create pins, or I'm just recycling other people's stuff and giving them bandwidth. And it's like, okay, what can I contribute to the conversation? So,
Mm.
yeah. But yeah, so like I said, at Gregory Crafts on pretty much every major platform. And yeah, and then please find me on Mastermind Adventures and please book me for a game. I would love to play with you. So, yeah,
That was wonderful, Greg. Thank you so much. And thank you for being the
my pleasure.
first GM for hire to share your story and really tell what you're about. I think that was really good, and people will have more of an understanding of the direction Masterminds is moving in and how we're trying to get everyone connected with such epic people like yourself. So you did
Aw,
awesome.
thank you.
That was great.
My pleasure. It's good talking with you.
It was good talking to you too. All right, have a wonderful. What time is it there?
It's just after 12, so I'm gonna, I actually have a lighting design client that I have to meet with, so I have to go get ready for that now. I'm gonna go set up lights in a church. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, good times.
Many talents, many talents.
Yep, gotta pay them bills somehow. The rent
Yeah.
always has to be paid.
All right. Well, it
Awesome.
was so good talking to you, Greg. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, Lex. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.